everyone, my name is Desiree and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I could talk about some of my favorite YouTubers. These are the YouTubers that inspired me to start my channel, I guess you could say, or they're also the ones that I watch frequently and I just love their videos. The first one I'd like to talk about is Pewdiepie. He is this gamer and he is the biggest YouTuber. He has, I think, 46 or 45 million subscribers. He absolutely just brightens my day. If I'm sad, I watch his videos. If I'm happy, I watch his videos. If I'm mad, I watch his videos. If I'm confused, I watch his videos. If I'm doing whatever, I watch his videos. He is, I don't know, he's just so funny to me, and I think he deserves to be the most subscribed YouTuber to me because he's funny and he cares about his fans and he is pretty cool. He has this book called This Book Loves You, and it's a self-help book, but I feel like it's to make fun of self-help books, only because some of the quotes in here are kind of discouraging, but they're funny. For example, one of the quotes is, "Don't use tampons if you're a boy." Thanks, Pewdiepie, I would have never known that. To keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, unless you don't have any friends. Then just stay in a corner and cry. Thanks, Pewdiepie. This book actually means a lot to me because when I got this book, I also got to meet Pewdiepie himself. I met Pewdiepie October 3rd, and it was a very eventful and long day. My dad had taken me all the way to the Grove in LA, and we went to the Barnes & Noble, and then we asked them about the details and they told us that there was going to be a line, and so then we went to the line. And it was very, very, very long, like ridiculously long, and we waited in that line to get our wristbands. And so as we're going to like Barnes & Noble, within Barnes & Noble, like they have us in sections, so they stop us. There was like, I want to say 5 or 6 people in front of my dad and I, and the guards were like talking to each other and saying how there might not be enough wristbands or there might not be enough time for him to meet everybody that's here, and he might not want to meet everyone that's here because there's so many people. There was about like 10,000 people, if not more. There was a lot of people, and like hearing that, I was getting like really scared. Like this was something that I've been looking forward to for so long because like, I don't know, he just makes me really happy, and to meet someone that makes me happy makes me ecstatic, and like finding out that I might not be able to meet that person made me like really, really sad, and I was like freaking out. My dad was telling me that it was okay, that I'm sure if he's such a nice guy as you say he is, he'll meet you, and I was like, okay Dad, trusting you. And then finally the time had come to meet the wonderful Pewdiepie. So we got in line and we were really like, we were one of the first people in line. There was only about 10 people ahead of us, and like people around us were super cool, so we were talking to them and it was just really fun, and I made some friends. And then the guard asked us if we're all in alphabetical order, and we were like, what do you mean? And she like, look at your bracelets. There were some people with red bracelets and some people with gray bracelets, and my bracelet was gray and the other people's bracelets was red, and the people with red bracelets were the ones that made the cut. Like they for sure get to meet Pewdiepie. And so they sent all the people with gray bracelets all the way back to the end, and everyone with red came up and they all, you know, got themselves in order, and it was like, okay, this is where the line started, here, for the red, and it ended here for the red. It started here for the gray, and just went around all the other buildings. There was so many people, it was crazy. So when the gray bracelet people got in order, there was actually no order, it was just like red and gray, and if you're in gray you get into the spot that you get. And we're slowly making our way to where we're supposed to be so we can actually meet him, and it took forever, and like It was so scary because I thought I wasn't gonna meet him. I thought that he was gonna get tired and he didn't want to meet anybody, and I was just like, the line for us started moving really fast, and we finally got into Barnes & Noble, and that's when my dad and I had to part ways because I was the one meeting him. My dad just took me, so that was great. So anyway, oh, and this Barnes & Noble was like 3 stories. It was literally book heaven. I absolutely fell in love with that. I've never seen a Barnes & Noble that big in my life. And finally the moment comes where I'm like right there. The people in front of me were taking their picture, and I started freaking out. I had planned this whole thing all day about what I was gonna say to him, of what I wanted to do for a picture, and then when I get up there, he oh, it just makes me so happy thinking about it. When I get up there, he looks at me and he's like, "Hey," and I was like in total awe and shock, and I started crying, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love you so much." And he was like, "Oh, thank you." He was super nice. He was like what he is in his videos. He wasn't fake. He was super nice, and he was amazing. So yeah, I was a sobbing mess, and he was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "We could just smile." And he was like, "Okay, fine." And he put his arm around my shoulder, and he made this funny little face, and it was so like, time had stopped for me. Like, my heart stopped beating. I was sobbing. Luckily, it doesn't show it in the picture, but I was a mess. And so I hugged him again when like I was leaving, and I was like, "Thank you so much for everything you do." And he was like, "Oh, no problem." And I was just like, I can't believe this happened. But then I got my book, and then I was lost in Barnes & Noble crying. I ran into other people who were crying. Everyone was a mess in that store, and then I called my dad. I asked him where he was, and then he told me, and I like went to where he was, and he was like, "Why are you crying? Did they not let you meet him?" I was like, "No, I'm crying because I did meet him." And he was like laughing at me, but then also kind of happy that I was crying, because I was happy crying because yeah. So anyway, that's the story of how I met Pewdiepie, and it was absolutely amazing. I'm sobbing. I can't find my dad. Oh my god. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be posting part 2 after I post this one, obviously. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you'd like, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links are in my description. And I'll see you in part 2. Bye!
It's open for you.